Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Blink. Today we have a special edition of the Blink. It is the graduation special. The Blink is conversations of life, love, and gratitude, and I'm your host, Tanisha Campbell, one of 4 community relations coordinators. We understand that life can happen in the blink of an eye. Here at Gift of Life Motep, we want to share the stories of those impacted in the blink. This series will feature donor families, recipients, volunteers, and advocates. The Blink is designed to bring you real stories of real individuals and families. If you would like to be a guest on The Blink, contact me at tcampbell, CAMPBELL, at golm.org or log into Volunteer Hub to sign up. Today we have a special guest, Dayja Foster, who recently graduated from Oakland University with her bachelor's in communication. Welcome to the Blink, Dayja, and congratulations.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. We are going to hop right in, and I'm going to ask you a few questions, and you can just share a little bit of your journey with us. So tell us about who Dayja is. Who are you, Dayja?
Well, I'm Deja. I'm 23 years old. I just graduated from Oakland University with a degree in communication. I love communication. I also am the CEO of Pink Daisy Hair Care. Um, so I have my own hair care company. Yeah, I'm just Deja. I don't know. I'm Asian.
So, Dayja, what have you experienced that has happened to you in a blink of an eye?
So my whole story and my whole journey happened in the blink of an eye. One day I just went to the ER because I felt like I had the flu or maybe like the common cold. I'm like, okay, well, let me just go to the doctor. My mom took me to the doctor. I was 16 at the time, and they ran some tests, and they like couldn't believe it. So they ran more tests and like redid the test, and they came back and told me I was in like the end stage renal failure, and I was really sick, and yeah, that everything happened in a blink of the eye. I had to go on dialysis immediately, and yeah, my life was turned upside down.
Wow, that's really interesting. One thing that I know for sure is that being a teenager is already a little difficult. So I can just imagine being a teenager and your life just flipping upside down. Could you share a little bit of the background? Like, what did you do when you were in high school? Were you on the basketball team? What was your passions while you were in high school? Was hair care your passion in high school? What were some of your passions? Hanging out with your family and friends? What did you really like to do?
So in high school, I really loved to hang out with my family and friends. I like sports, but I was always like too tired to try out. And it seems like when looking back, I know or noticed when I got sick because it was hard for me to do the things that I love. But in high school, I really just loved being a regular teenager, going out with my friends on the weekends, spending the night at my best friend's house for days at a time. So I love spending time with my family and friends in high school.
So when you found out you were in need of a transplant or when your kidneys were failing, how do you think your parents handled it? Just your point of view, like looking at them, how did you think your parents handled it?
But they handled it well. I'm sure it was hard. We had our hard days. However, they handled it well. My mom, she was so strong. She gave me dialysis. She like
Oh,
became a nurse overnight. I had not hemodialysis. What was it?
peritoneal.
Peritoneal dialysis, and it was at home every night for 10 hours a day. And she gave it to me like a champ. So she was really strong, and yeah, she was strong for all of us because I don't think I could have made it without her strength.
Oh, wow. I think that just goes and tells us how strong parents are when their children are going through something. They definitely put themselves to the side and how selfless they are at points. If you could say a couple of words to your mom, what would you say?
Thank you. Thank you, girl. Sayang. Thank you. Like, I love you. Thank you so much. I wouldn't be here without my mom and her support and my father and my family. So thank you, mom, for becoming a nurse overnight.
Oh, wow. Um, so after your transplant, or tell us a little bit about how it was waiting for a transplant. how was it knowing that your friends are just going home every day and they don't have to go home and do peritoneal dialysis, um, and how you had to possibly like cut your evening shorts, especially in high school. Like sometimes you want to hang out later at night with your friends and stuff like that. How did that affect you emotionally?
It was hard, but my mom and my parents, they worked hard to make sure like I didn't feel, out of place or sad or anything. I've always had a positive mindset, but of course, I couldn't spend the night out. My friends would have to come over and spend the night. But like for special occasions like homecoming, prom, I had my transplant. So homecoming, I could stay out a little later. I could just get hooked up later in the night and have to be on throughout the day. And that's kind of hard, but we made those compromises. But it was tough. I can't lie and say it wasn't. It was tough, but I just kept a positive mindset. Like I said, my mom would encourage me. So I just knew it was no other way. I had to do what I needed to do in order to stay healthy or stable enough to get a transplant.
I know you mentioned your friends, like you hung out with your friends a little bit and everything. Was this a conversation that you had with your friends? Was transplant or organ donation or anything ever a conversation that you had with friends?
Of course, and I still have those conversations with my friends. But I always was open and transparent about my situation, and my friends were a big support. I had a big support system from
Okay.
my friend group.
That's awesome. I know a lot of the young men that we talk to are often really quiet about their transplant journey. They just don't want to um, be labeled a little different than
Hmm.
everyone else. And it's understandable. It's definitely a journey when you're a teenager and you're growing, and you don't want people to label you as being different. And I think that goes along with anybody that has any situation going on. You just don't want to be labeled any different than anybody else. Um, let's see. What else have you done to educate people about the importance of donation?
So of course I volunteer with the Gift of Life MOTEP and the Gift of Life, and I just tell my story and let people know my experience with organ donation. Sometimes people just need a face or story with a cause. So I always let them know my story. Looking at me, a lot of people think I'm normal, whatever normal is, but normal, regular. But you wouldn't look at me and know that I had a transplant or that I was severely sick. So I just always tell my story, tell people about organ donation, the importance of it in the community. Um, like I said, whether that's volunteering or sharing my story with people. I'm always down for the cause.
That's great. Let's go back to your story a little bit because I know we briefly discussed your story, but when it came to transplant, I know you got listed at what hospital were you listed at?
The Children's Hospital of Michigan.
So
Shout out.
you were listed at Children's Hospital in Michigan. How long were you on the transplant waiting list?
Um, 10 days.
10 days.
Yes.
That's amazing. And what went through your mind when you found out you were about to have a transplant?
I was excited. I was nervous, excited, all of the above. But for the most part, I was very excited because I just knew that a transplant, my kidney transplant, would save and change my life.
Amazing. Um, it is definitely a life-saving transplant. I know people often say, when you are waiting for a kidney, you have dialysis, but dialysis is just a treatment. It doesn't heal anything or it doesn't save your life. It just helps you to continue on living for however long you need it.
Mm.
Um, so I know you've been a volunteer and you've worked a lot with Gift of Life Michigan and Gift of Life Motel. What is one of your most memorable volunteer um, moments?
One of my most memorable volunteer moments. Um, it was, I think we were at Cobo Hall, former Cobo Hall, and I was working with you, and I was just talking to people, and like I said, someone who came up to me, uh, like an older gentleman, he just said, "I never thought about organ donation." He had a lot of conspiracy theories, but
Mhm.
sharing my story helped him, and he signed up to become an organ donor. So that's what I do it for.
Oh, wow. I
And the
don't think
more,
you ever told me that story before.
yeah,
That's amazing. I,
hmm
I always think it's great for people to be able to go out and share their stories, um, and realize that this is a actual cause. Like a lot of people can't relate to
hmm
somebody that's had a transplant, or when they've talked to people about it, it's been like negative stories and everything.
yeah,
But it's always great to have a positive story at the end of the rainbow.
hmm
Um, yeah. So I know also that you have been to the donor family gathering.
yes.
And how did you feel at the donor family gathering? Tell us a little bit about the donor family gathering and when you went to help. Or
The donor family gathering, it's always like a bittersweet moment. Of course, we're there to celebrate the donors, the recipients, and everyone connected to organ donation. So I was just grateful and thankful for the families there, because ultimately they have to give the okay for their family member to donate their organs. So it's extremely like I was grateful and thankful. However, I felt the pain of the families who shared their stories about their loved ones. But it's always a wonderful gathering to celebrate the people who gave, organs to help people like myself.
yeah. And we're always grateful for our donor families. Um, so what are some of your future goals? Tell us, what are you doing now that you have graduated from college with your degree in communications?
So I'm still working on my hair care company. I lost some of my hair when I took all my medications. So I came up with the formula to help hair growth. So I focus on hair growth, hair care. I love my company, Pink Daisy Hair Care. I also just accepted a job in Indiana. I'll be a residence hall director at Ball State University. So
Congratulations.
thank you. And at Ball State, I'll be pursuing my master's degree in communication. So I'm just trying to, follow my goals, follow my dreams. I'm extremely grateful for my gift of a kidney transplant, and um, I'll just I'll live my life, because I'm extremely grateful for this gift. I don't take it for granted. So I'm going to do everything I need and want to do in life because I'm extremely grateful for my second chance at life. So hopefully I'm a millionaire. And then I can continue to educate the community about organ donation.
If you could tell a couple of things to a young adult or a child that is currently waiting for a transplant, what would be a couple of words that you would share with them?
Um, so just stay strong. I know it's hard to stay strong. Like it was, I never really felt like giving up until the end. Well, not giving up, but like it gets hard. So just stay strong. We all have our days. Cry if you need to, scream if you need to, but just know, at the end of the day, there has to be a better day that will come. So just stay strong. Just know it's coming. It'll come at the perfect time. Um, and hopefully we'll have more people on the organ donor list, and we can get the organs and the help that we need. But just stay strong.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your story with us today, Deja. I am sure you have influenced a lot of lives for the best. Um, and thank you all, audience, for joining the Blink. This is actually our second episode of the Blink. And if you would like to join the conversation, you can always email me at tcampbell@golm.org, or you can visit us on Volunteer Hub to sign up on the Blink. You can join us this next upcoming Wednesday, June 30th, for Living Differently, a youth perspective on waiting for a life-saving transplant. And you can also join us for the 24th annual Life Walk Run on Saturday, July 24th. It is a virtual event, and you can sign up at www.moteplifewalk.org. And as always, you can sign up on the Organ Donor Registry and visit us at golm.org. If you have any questions or if you would like to be on the show, once again, email me at tcampbell@golm.org or visit us in Volunteer Hub. Until next time, you all have a great evening.